Good morning, and welcome back to my series on how to fight against each character in Tekken 8. I'm Keith B, and today I'm going to be taking you through Reina. I think her last name's Mishima. We don't really know. She's Heihachi's daughter. Before we get into the move list, I just want to take a quick second to remind you that this series is intended to be sort of like the first 10 moves in a chess opening. Honestly, like the defensive knowledge that I cover in here is probably enough to get you through blue ranks in Tekken 8, maybe even a little beyond, assuming you're like working on your fundamentals and your own characters, like, you know, game plan and all that stuff. At some point, if you really want to get to like Tekken God, Omega Supreme, whatever the heck it's called in this game, you're going to want to, there's other stuff you're going to have to learn along the way. I'm not going to cover every unsafe move. I can't cover every single situation because we'll be here way longer than either of us want to be here. With that out of the way, one other quick order of business. If you watch a lot of fighting game content like this on YouTube, you're probably familiar with the idea that most of the people who watch my videos don't subscribe to my channel. I watch a lot of stuff like this, and I know as well as you do that those subscriber recommendations suck. But subscribing is like, it helps me get like in search results and other things that can make this channel more sustainable going forward. So if you like it and you subscribe, I appreciate it. Thank you. So, let's talk about Reina. She was presented as Heihachi's heiress apparent, and, you know, we think of Heihachi, he's a Mishima, and like Mishima, I know, got electrics, right? I'm gonna do some of this stuff, wave dashing, right? And when you, if you had a similar experience to me when you first fought against Reina online, like, it was like fighting a Heihachi player who just drank so much bang energy that they can no longer see where their buttons on their controller are, and they're just doing this stuff all day. And then you explode, and maybe you got mad and then looked up this video, and then if you came up on YouTube and you clicked here, well, I'm here for you. I got you. Okay, if that was your experience with Tekken 8, you're in the right place. Reina combines the Mishima style with Taido karate, which it kind of shows in the form of like these like steps and these like walking little sidestep things, and like her kicks. She has a lot of kicks, right? Like that one is one that you probably got hit by. I probably got hit by this one. You definitely got hit by that one. I did. Anyway, that's kind of thing. She's a hybrid character. She's got a lot of kicks and movements in addition to the Mishima style wave dash, you know, electric. She's got a hell sweep, all that stuff. In practice, in the actual game, what this means is Reina is a very aggressive character. She's got a lot of moves that are designed for her. She does a thing, like let's say she does this, right? If you block this, you'd say I'm +8. It's my turn, right? But then she hits you, and if you jabbed, this goes right under your jab, and it will counter hit launch you. So she's got a lot of stuff like that where she is gonna do some things on an offense and try to prompt you into attacking back, and then she will keep attacking you, and she will end up winning that exchange if you're not careful. So the first thing that you need to do to fight against Reina is chill out, right? Just not be a little bit hesitant as to where you're pressing buttons, and things will go a little bit smoother. The next thing we gotta talk about is like Mishimas are kind of known for their, like, you know, wave dash, right? And this move, the electric wind god fist, right? And normally what I would do if this was a Mishima video is I would start breaking down, okay, this is how you fight against Mishimas. We're gonna sidewalk left. We're gonna duck when it's time to duck, and we're gonna play around. This move right here, I don't even know if every Reina player I've fought knows this move is in the game. I'm not even gonna lie, because she has almost a complete kit without it. She has launching down for 2, launching hop kick, and she's got the move that I'm gonna say is her key tool. Let's do the key tools thing. So I'm going to say her key tool is this. 442. And it goes right into her Sentai stance, so we'll have to talk more about Sentai stance in the stance section. But this move is so good. It will natural combo into the high follow-up. And the high follow-up is a heat engager. Great, right? So, not only that, even if she doesn't heat dash cancel like she did there, it's +1 on block. So she's got frames. Now, obviously, this is a high. I can duck this. But more importantly, like, this is a whole stance, so she doesn't have to do the high. We'll get into that whole mind game in the stance section. How do we deal with this move, right? How do I deal with this 442? Because what Reinas are basically doing is hanging out and then doing 442 to get in, and that's just how they start their offense. And once they're in, they have access to the whole character. So if I can just deal with this one move, that would be great, right? Well, normally, what we do with Mishimas is we step them to the left. Mishimas are notorious for having a left side weakness. Well, if I do that with Reina, I'm going to get hit. Again, just to reiterate, when we're saying step left, I'm talking about my character's left, my left hand here. Now, a female character will sometimes clear it like that because they have smaller hurt boxes. So sometimes, like, the tracking is good, but sidestep's very strong in this game. But more often than not, you're not going to clear it. The good news is, it's not that good for sidestep right. Timing's wrong, but I can clear it by going right. So that's good. And I can sometimes clear it going left, but if I want to be really safe, it's better to... Ooh. My timing's off. See, it's... My actual point here is that this move is hard to sidestep, but we can sidewalk it to the left, right? Sidewalk left is something that we can execute, especially if you have a smaller hitbox character. But stepping it is hard. So we have to play around this move. We have to block this move and make a decision a lot of times. And she's putting herself +2, which is not bad, but not great, because a lot of the follow-ups from stance are going to be slow. So if this is the situation that you're finding yourself in, there's timestamps in this video. Go check out the stances section, and I'm going to cover everything you should do to deal with this stance. It's called Sentai stance. And then if you want to come back after that, or you can just wait here, and I'll go through the rest of her key moves, and then we'll do stances. Whatever you want. It's your video. It's you can do it however you want. So just know that when we're talking about Reina, this move is absolutely the defining move of the character, because this is the move that is allowing her to play mid-range. It's covering her sidestep weakness, and it's starting her offense, and it's giving her access to her stance game. Obviously, we still have to talk about the electric. This move is really strong. It is a +5 on block launcher. You know, natural launcher. She learned it from her dad. It's still good. The electric, we go to the left to beat the electric, so standard Mishima stuff. She also has a really good jab and a really good down 4-1, just like Heihachi. Of course, she has Mishima 1-1, which leads to 1-1-2, which hers does not knock down, but it does let her get into this stance. So there's another situation where she's going into her stance. This time she's super plus. I think +11 in the open. Yeah, +11. So she comes in here, and then she can run her stance game. Very strong. So you gotta be worried about this jab, right? Her down 4-1 is just like Heihachi's pretty much, but except again, it doesn't knock down. It's a heat engager. So there's a theme here emerging with Reina. Her stuff is not usually launching you or knocking you down. It's keeping you standing up and then giving her momentum that she can use to keep her offense going. We see this with her 4-4-3. It's a heat engager, not a launcher. So similar to Big Brother Devil Jin, she's got to use the heat dash cancel to get a combo off of this. And another classic Heihachi move that is one of her core tools is forward 4. It's the Mishima axe kick. This is very plus on hit. It's only a +2 on block, so it's not quite as advantageous as Heihachi's was. But just like Heihachi, if she hits you crouching, she's +13, and she can do a down 4-1-2 guaranteed, which is kind of cool. I'll show that. That's guaranteed. Cool. So, you might notice something here. All of the moves we've talked about, with the exception of Electric, are mids. And Electric's a high. So, Reina's kind of weakness here is that her lows are not that great. She doesn't have, like, this is a down back 4 here, but it's not Kazuya down back 4. It's not the stature kick. This thing is only -2. She has this down back 2. This is not Devil Jin down back 2. This is -3 on hit, even though it does a nice little grip of damage. She has a sidestep 4. This is probably nicer than any low Heihachi ever had. 18 frames. Does a nice little counter hit stun. And this thing is only -13 if you block it. But look, it's 0. 0 on hit. So when you get hit by a low from Reina, unless it's her Hell Sweep, you don't have to respect it. A lot of what Reina is getting away with right now is she can force you to respect her strings and her pressure and her stance pressure. But then she starts throwing out lows and she keeps swinging because she figures, well, you know, you're respecting this other stuff, so you're just scared to press. But you don't actually have to be scared to press after you eat one of these low pokes. Her low pokes are kind of... She does have a mid extension here that you got to be wary of. And just like Julia or Leroy or Fang, that is natural on counter hit. So nothing too crazy with the lows. That's kind of the weakness of the character, is you can just stand here and block. You'll take some chip damage, but she will eventually have to do a low, and at that point, you can make a decision. You can also make decisions. We'll talk about her stance transitions, what kind of decisions you can do there in the stance section. And we'll talk about how to deal with the pressure at different ranges. Let's talk about when we're spaced out. So, spaced out Reina is not super scary. The main thing you got to be wary of is, like, she can whiff punish pretty much whatever, because she's a Mishima. So if you're whiffing, you're probably going to die, and she can even, like, she has, like, the fast version of the Wind God Fist, because she can do a little, like, down forward 3 will give her a quick wave dash. No, you don't have to do the motion for it, right? So she can win God Fist from, like, anywhere. In this range, you got to worry about Electric. And so her whiff punishment's really, really good. It's a recurring theme in Tekken that, like, rushdown characters have really good whiff punishment, and Reina is fitting that theme. The other move that you have to pretty much worry about is 4-4-2, right? 4-4-2 is really good. Now, we established you can sidewalk this, but what Reina can do is she can dash into it. So she can, when you're talking about tracking in Tekken, when you dash or do any sort of movement, even like a sidestep or a crouch dash, you realign to your opponent's axes. So if they change the timing of the 4-4-2, then they can try to hit you while sidewalking. So you want to be careful, but it's okay to sidewalk. Electric is also not as scary in terms of its tracking as it was if you played Tekken 7. That is not an electric. You know, it's not as hard to just avoid this just by walking left. I'd keep ducking on accident, but we can just walk left to avoid the electric. That's fine. If she's doing a lot of 4-4-2, which she will be, then we can just walk right. Or left. Left will also work. So, you know, sidewalk left, but not too much. Sidewalk left guard, because we don't want to let her snipe your sidewalk timing and land one of these. What's probably going to end up happening is you're going to block this move a lot. If you have careful movement, you're going to block this and be in this situation. And then, you know, skip ahead to stances if you need to figure out how this situation is dealt with. It's not as bad as it might seem if you've been fighting a lot of Reinas. The next thing to talk about is when we're up close, because Reina doesn't really have too much more mid-range options other than those two moves. So if we look at just like the basic, what does Reina do up close? She still doesn't have a ton of stuff that's going to cover your sidestep left. You can sidestep left her jabs pretty easily. You can sidestep left her down 4-1. Now, the thing that you have to watch out for is going to be these launchers. Because that, like, you see how I'm, like, basically behind her? It's still going to hit me if I go left. This thing tracks all the way to her left. Which means I got to sidestep this to the right. So, this is how she can kind of keep you honest. She also has a pretty, like an okay homing move with back 2. But back 2 is, while it's pretty fast, like, it's -9 on block. And if I get hit, it's +3 and it pushes you way out. And we already established Reina's got a lot more options up close than she does far away. So, you know, the back 2, if your movement is annoying them, your sidestep left is annoying them, and they start back 2ing you, that's pretty good. The thing you need to watch out for is if they start down 4-2ing you, because if you go left against this down 4-2, it's gonna clip you. Now, it's -12, so, you know, early bonus punishment here. The name of the game is going to be annoy Reina until they start throwing this out, and then when they start throwing this out, punish it, right? That's basic defensive game plan. The other thing to just be wary of is when she's running her offense. A lot of her strings have 2 or 3 hits. Generally, strings in Tekken have 2 or 3 hits, and she has a lot of strings. And a lot of her strings are unsafe. So when she's throwing out, especially kicks, always expect that there's going to be a second kick. There's some key unsafe moves that we'll talk about in the unsafe moves section, like how do you punish this stuff. But just be aware that her strings have multiple hits. She's not like Kazuya, where she's just going to do like one big hit on you, or like, you know, and that's it. No, her stuff tends to keep going. Heat is like super mode for Reina. She gets, just like the other Mishimas, her electrics are now free. Her just frames are free. The other things that she gets are like extra extensions on some of these strings. So, for example, her 3+4 is a 2-hit, but in heat that becomes a 3-hit and it becomes safe. And the chip damage from these spin around like a Beyblade type moves is very good. Well, she didn't block. Yeah, very good chip damage on these kick string extensions. She also has a mid heat smash, And from her Heaven's Wrath stance, she has a low Heat Smash, which kind of buffs up her Heaven's Wrath mix-up game. Because again, she doesn't have good lows, so having a low Heat Smash kind of helps her in that regard. If you block this Heat Smash, let me do this, and let me do this. It is minus 17, so it's a particularly unsafe low Heat Smash. This move should have been in the key moves section, but I forgot to include it, so we're going to talk about it now. And that is Crouch Dash 3. This is a new move. Heihachi never had nothing like this. And I'm not going to be able to do it from this side. This move, just like Electric Wind God Fist, has a Just Frame. And the Just Frame version makes it safe at minus 9. And you might be like, whoa, I got to do a whole electric input just to be minus 9? Well, yeah, because this move changes up her crouch dash game a lot because it is super strong tracking. So I can't step it to the left. I can't step it to the right. Let's walk it to the left. I can walk it to the left, but I can't walk it to the right. So you gotta be wary of this move too when we're talking about when she's up close and she's pressuring you. Unlike the down forward 2, this option is safe. And it will counter hit launch as well. It comes out reasonably fast. Mid-screen, shit, it's not, I don't really see too much of this at mid-screen. We can still sidewalk left. But you might want to be like sidewalking into a guard, you know? Sidewalk guard. And then you'll either clear this with your sidewalk, or you won't, you know? But as long as you're guarding, it's fine. Minus 9. So that's a really strong move. Alright, so we've covered all the basic strategy stuff. Let's talk about punishable things. Probably the #1 punishable move of Reina's, like that will change the matchup for you, is gonna be this Power Crush. Because when she does her Sentai spin, a lot of times if you're contesting it, they're gonna throw the Power Crush. And what everyone's doing right now is they're blocking the first hit and then trying to punish, and you can't. But if you block both hits, it's minus 16, and most characters are gonna be able to launch that. Nice. Now, she doesn't have to do both hits. She can just do the first hit and then play for some mental frame advantage as you wait for the second hit. The first hit's minus 14, which plenty of characters still can punish pretty hard. Here's the thing. Right now, the game is young, at least at the time of me making this video. So right now, everybody is just sending this, right? And if you're in low ranks, if you're in like red ranks, purple ranks, or lower, most of those players are just going to send this because it's just so rewarding and they're getting so much mileage off of this. They haven't really seen a reason yet to stop sending it. So blocking, looking for that second hit and then punishing the minus 16 is going to be huge. It's going to really open up a lot of damage and get you a lot more wins off Reina. Just that alone. Another move that we absolutely have to punish is Mishima 112. This is the Flash Punch combo. This is minus 17. And a lot of starting out newer Mishima players will mess up their hit confirms. And they'll send this move. And we can launch that. Most characters in the game are going to be able to launch at minus 17. Except for Steve. So that's really good. Even high-level Mishima players will send this out because you can delay the last hit, and they know that you know it's unsafe. So they know that you know that they know, and then you get hit, right? I've seen some of the best Mishima players in the world finish this on block because, you know, no one expects them to. So even at low level and high level, you have to know how to punish this move. Another really important move to punish is going to be all of these. Anytime you see this kick, it can come out of full crouch. It can come off as an extension. It comes off of a number of different ones. The 3-4, 3+4-4. Is there a forward 3+4? All these kicks. This kick is always -14. So, and you're going to see these extensions a lot because this kick's a high crush anytime it's coming out. So, you do the move, and they think, haha, I can jab. No, you can't. And when it's an extension, it'll counter hit launch. If she does it just out of full crouch raw, it's actually just a launcher. So a lot of Reina's game plan is high crush you with these kicks, but they all kind of look the same. So if you see that, she's -14, and there's some pretty good 14 frame punishers in this game. Use them. A couple more moves to punish. Just like her dad Heihachi, she has a really rewarding down forward 1-2, mid-mid, -14. And hers does not force crouch. Sometimes like a headbutt like this will force crouch. This does not. So you can just, in the case of Reina, she can do this back. So very important. You're going to see a lot of this. There is a mid-high variant. So there's a mix-up here. But Reinas are going to send this a lot because they're going to want that heat engager dash. So punish the down forward 1-2, and look if they're sending a lot of down forward 1-1. You'll need to play that mix-up. The other thing to look out for are her super unsafe lows. If she's going for hell sweep a lot, well, guess what? That's a stagger punish. You can do every character in the game is going to be able to launch that. She's also got a sweep from Sentai Spin. This one, if you block it, the second hit will just whiff. So again, we can just launch. And her down back too. This is a move. A lot of people think, oh, this is just a poke, so it can't be that unsafe. -16. I have been getting away. Well, I'm not really getting away, but I have been launching Reinas left and right. Just blocking this move and then doing this. And it's made my experience playing the game a lot better. So if you've got a launcher at -16 from full crouch, great. If not, you've probably got some sort of rewarding punish you can send, because that move is nowhere near as safe as it would be on, a typical Tekken character. Strings that have high enders. We got 1, 2, 3, 4. This is kind of the bog standard Mishima like mid option after 1, 2, but then she can do a high kick. So if they're sending this high kick, it's really slow. You can react to it. You can also just twitch duck after the knee. Don't twitch duck before the knee because you'll get hit. But yeah, I'm just twitch ducking after the knee right now. And you'd be surprised if you train yourself to see this string, how often Reina players are just sending it. Because it's a new character, so they're just kind of doing everything. Another duckable string she has is the down forward 4-2-3. Down forward 4-2 is a pretty good string, mid-mid. It has a high kick at the end. It doesn't look like it's necessarily a high, but she does kick you like in the neck, and it's a high. So a lot of Reinas are sending this because no one knows her strings yet. So let them know that you know their strings. And if they can't help themselves, then you'll just beat them because they'll keep sending this. Her while standing 3-4 is nice. But it's a nice little punisher, but it's mid-high. So if she is sending it just as a option in neutral, well, we can duck that high, and we can launch her. It's probably worth mentioning that her wall standing 4 and her wall standing 3 might be a little hard to see the difference between. But wall standing 4 jails. So you don't even have to learn the difference, because if she's going to do wall standing 4 and I block it, I can hold down back. I'm holding down back here and nothing. At bonus punishment, this move is launch punishable. In fact, all of the Mishima wall standing 4/4s you can launch. So, bonus punisher. And I think that's going to do it for... She doesn't have a lot of high extensions. Her lows are not really reactable. Like this, you can't react to this. I mean, maybe if you're a god, you can react to this. I can't react to this. I can't react to hell sweeps. So, I think we're just going to move on to stances, because that's going to be a big section. Alright, Reina has a lot of stances. We're going to have to go through each of them. I'm going to start with the big two, the two stances that are probably causing everyone to have a headache and online. And then we'll go through some of her more obscure stuff. Reina's Sentai Spin is a really strong stance. It can come out of 4-4-2, or it can come out of 4-2-3. She has a couple of transitions that are a little more fringe as well. She can also just go into a raw with 4-3. The big thing here is the 4-4-2, right? Because she's +2 going into this. And if she does the 3 option, it's a natural combo. And it's a heat engager. So, obviously 4-4-2-3 is a high, right? And we already know if it's a high, we can duck it, right? So that's nice. And I don't mind if the Reina's being very predictable, call her out with a duck and get the rewarding punish on your read. But if she's mixing up her options, you might be a little hesitant to duck here. Well, we have another option, which is dick jab or down jab. If we just throw in some of her mid choices here. Not that one. She's 13 frame mid. She has her 1+2. She has her 4. Just kind of throw all this stuff in there. Dick jab beats that. Dick jab beats that mid. Now it's going to lose to the high crush option. And it's also going to lose to the power crush, right? But we've eliminated everything but 2 choices by just mashing dick jab. Actually, it hit her out of that power crush. There you go. Yeah. Power crush wins. So, we've eliminated everything but 2 options with dick jab. The other thing we can do is stand jab. Because stand jab will float her out of the low crush. And it's going to beat everything else. It's going to lose to the power crush. And it's going to lose to the 3 kick. Because the 3 kick will trade favorably. So, stand jab and dick jab, the one thing that beats both is power crush. Okay, well, what's the one thing at the beginning of this video that I said we want to block and punish? Her power crush from Sentai. So, by jabbing out of the Sentai spin situations, we can kind of bait Reina into doing that power crush. Then, we just have to deal with, is she going to finish the power crush? For the vast majority of the Reinas, if you're watching this video, you're probably in a rank where the Reina's likely to finish this. And then you can launch her. Probably. You probably have a 16 frame launcher unless you play Steve. And then your life is going to be a lot better. So that's just kind of my basic game plan on Sentai. I don't like trying to move because this thing comes out way too fast. And it's a heat engager, and I don't want to get tagged by this 12 frame high because I'm trying to sidestep stuff. She also has the sweep, right? So she can go for that. And the sweep will go under your jab. So Dick Jab's going to beat that. You can also, if you're ducking to call out the 3, if she's getting happy with the Hell Sweep option, we can duck and launch that. We covered that in the punishable moves section. Let's get into some Heaven's Wrath stance, which is her down 1+2. I forgot to mention this when we were talking about heat, but when she does have heat, Heaven's Wrath gets this auto parry effect, which works on, I believe, both punches and kicks. Let's test it. Yeah, punches and kicks. So that's pretty cool. It's a little bit of a callback to Heihachi's old Sabaki, where he would absorb an attack and then he would hit you back. So Heaven's Wrath has the built-in auto parry in heat, which makes it better in heat. If you remember, Heaven's Wrath is also the stance that has the low heat smash option. So it becomes a lot scarier in terms of mix-up in heat. Now, when she's not in heat, the mix-up in Heaven's Wrath isn't too bad because the low does this. And that's not so bad. It's minus. So I can live with that. The mid options are pretty scary. She does have this low mid non-natural extension. So we probably need to talk about punishing that. So, yeah, -16. So if she's trying to like kind of scum you out, maybe looking for you to swing back into this stance, or just like, oh, you got hit by the low, you think it's your turn? No, it's not. It's not a good mind game because it's -16. So add that to your punishing moves. So since the low isn't very strong, what is the option that you should use to mix up in this stance? Well, she has a throw. She has a pretty damaging unbreakable throw. This cannot be broken. I probably should have mentioned as well, she has unbreakable throw in Sentai as well. So you can think of these as just kind of guard breaks. But the Heaven's Wrath one, it does a lot more damage, or a little more damage. And Heaven's Wrath also doesn't have a low that is very rewarding that she can go to. But you're going to see this Heaven's Wrath stance a lot, like after her while standing 4-4, and after her Hell Sweep. She can opt to go into these stances. Well, if she does that, and then she does the, well, I meant to do the throw. Does the throw. This seems really good, right? I eat a Hell Sweep, I'm -6. Now I gotta deal with this unbreakable throw. I can backdash. Just backdash, bro. So this is nice because in the open, the mix-up in Heaven's Wrath stance all of a sudden is not super scary. So I don't really have to interact with this unless she has wall positioning. If she has wall positioning, obviously you can't backdash, right? I could have just did the menu thing to get to the wall, but I didn't. Yeah, at wall positioning, you have to hold this. You got to make a read on the mix. But if she doesn't have wall positioning, you can backdash. The throw will whip. The low is not scary. And the mids, you're just going to block, right? So that's good. The main mid option that you're going to see, try to report it, is this 2 heat engager. It goes really far. You can see I just block it and -9, push back. I'm now at a range where, you know, Your character's probably a little better than Reina at this range. You take some chip damage, but it's not the end of the world. I could also try to sidestep this right if I have the hard call out. Don't step it left because you will get tagged. I could sidestep this right. If this is like, she's autopiloting, she's just sending the mid and thinks, well, you're just going to backdash, so this is free chip. Well, okay. I can sidestep and punish. She's got some other mid options in the stance as well. Her 1 is a little scary because it is a homing move, fast at 12 frames. There's also a mid kick extension on that. But again, if you don't want to deal with this mind game, and I just backdash in the mid range here in the open field, that 1's gonna whiff, and then I can just launch it. I don't even have to worry if she's gonna do the extension or not. So I'm not really scared of this stance. The low doesn't scare me, and the throw scares me at the wall, but outside of the wall, it doesn't. A lot of people are getting tagged by this throw because they're not backdashing after they get hit by the Hell Sweep. I think if you start backdashing, she's actually just going to send this version of the sweep, which is only +2, and has a little less, it doesn't go in a stance, keeps her a little closer, but I'd much rather be -2 than -6. That's just me. And that's gonna do it for the Reina episode. We'll be back next week. We're gonna do the last new character for Tekken 8, Azucena, and then we're gonna start going through the legacy characters. So if you have a character who you'd like to request that I cover sooner in the series than others, it's still gonna be every Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. YouTube's buffering and whatever sorcery they do to my videos after I upload them permitting. And if there's a character you'd like me to cover, let me know. Hope to see you next time.